Today is the day of his reminder to us of rebirth. And I would like to begin with this beautiful poem by the Latin American poet Antonio Machado that I think captures the essence of it all as I hear Christ, as I hear all those great ones. And Antonio said, I love Jesus who said to us, heaven and earth will pass away. When heaven and earth have passed away, my word will still remain. What was your word, Jesus? Love, forgiveness, affection. All your words were one word: wake up. Wake up. The real meaning of rebirth, and although I don't often use the word resurrection, it's not in my normal cosmology, but it's a beautiful word if you can hear it clear of the dogma and story many of us have heard about the Christian tradition. Resurrection is to resurrect, to bring up who we really are. Come back into the truth of that. Let go of the illusion that we're someone who could be hurt, could be attacked, could be crucified, could die. And remember that we really are the one light. To wake up. Every great spiritual tradition has rituals and ceremonies and practices to help us wake up. It doesn't really matter which one you practice. It all is coming back to waking up. And what happens when you wake up in the morning? If you're like me, you've been often involved in a dream that felt like this whole other universe unfolding that seemed so real. And you're so involved and it's so intricate. And then the sun shines in the window, your eyes open and you go, oh. And often what felt like lifetimes are just gone. And oh, I'm here. Wake up. We're waking up to the truth of who we really are. Every day is an opportunity to do that, to have that rebirth. And actually, every moment is an opportunity. So I would like to read a line from the Gospel of Thomas. One of the things that happened in the tradition of Christianity, if you've ever studied some of the history, it's very interesting. Because Jesus said many, many things that do not exist in the Bible, that were edited out by the Catholic Church around the year 300, because it fractured the church's capacity to control people and to generate fear. He gave many teachings that we are already completely one with God, with Spirit, with each other, totally connected, that we do not need anyone to help us get there. And that in fact there's nothing to do but wake up and remember. So when the church was burning many of these Gospels, the Gospel of Philip, Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, all these students of Jesus wrote their own Gospels. Isn't that extraordinary? Where are those words? Very high work, very metaphysical, very comforting. So there was a monastery in Egypt near the town of Nag Hammadi, where a few very enlightened monks recognized what was really happening in the burning of these important teachings. And they took them and they put them into a large olive jar, empty jar for storing olives, and they sealed the top and stored it way back in a cave near the Nile to preserve these teachings. And sometime in the 1900s, some men were exploring caves to look for antiquities that they could find and resell in the market. And they found the jar in Nag Hammadi. And inside the jar were all of the lost scriptures, the lost teachings, recorded in the Aramaic. And they didn't, of course, understand what they were seeing. And one of their wives used some of the scriptures for kindling in the fire. But obviously, we weren't meant to get those. Although I think someday the same scriptures will be found in other places they were hidden. And eventually they came to light and were translated and are available today. And one of the most beautiful and the most accessible is the Gospel of Thomas. So this is just a line from the Gospel of Thomas. Gospel just means, here's how I heard him say it. It's like if we all hung out today with one teacher, we'd all go away and remember different things that teacher said through our own lens, through our own field, our own projection. And if you read all of us, you might actually get down to the nugget of truth of what that teacher said. So Thomas is quoting sayings of Jesus, and he says, his disciples said, show us the place where you are, because we sure as heck want to live there. Show us the place where you are, for we must seek it. He, Christ, said to them, whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. There is light within a person of light. And it lights up the whole world. If it does not shine, it is dark. How do we let that light that we are shine? Christ is saying, you already are that light. You don't have to do anything, practice anything, go to any particular church or organization. There's nothing you have to get rid of. You don't have to change belief systems. You just have to wake up and remember you are already that light. Nothing is missing. All right here. So Christ is saying also, but if we don't let that light shine, we won't know that we're the light. What does it mean to let our light shine? Well, some of his core teachings were captured in the poem by Antonio Machado, forgiveness, love. Why forgiveness? Why love? Why do we do that? Because in the act of forgiveness and the act of extending love to other people, we remember who we are. And the illusion of separation it just vanishes. We remember that we are all connected. We're all one. And that you are the light. His whole purpose in living was to remind you that you are the light. And so much dogma has been assigned to Christ that it makes me sad to observe it. And yet, that was meant to happen too, because it's happened. So a little more from the Gospel of Thomas. About the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to wake up, because what would we have to see in ourselves if we got off blaming other people for our problems? What would we have to do? We'd have to stand up so big in our own power, our own light, to take away this crazy notion that somebody could ever hurt us, could ever fracture the amazing power and oneness and light that every single human being is. It's called standing up big in who you are. So about forgiveness, Jesus said, if two make peace with each other in a single house, they will say to the mountain, move from here, and it will move. This is actually a metaphysical and a quantum physics truth. That what is held with the greatest intention and focus is beyond the laws of Newtonian gravity and physics. Actually, that mountain could move if enough of us could join together in our light and say it, see it so, it could move. So we could forget about moving mountains and just tackle something a little easier, like forgiving our mothers. Speak from personal experience. Forgiving each other. To forgive, you have to know that you are already complete. Wake up to knowing you're already complete. You don't ever have to feel envious because you're already everything. No one can hurt you because you're already whole.